An organizational unit is a container object within a domain. It helps us consolidate users, computers, and groups. Let's give an example of that. You have within your organization different departments. What you might want to do is for each department, you create this container called an organizational unit, and you place your users within these organizational units according to the department or maybe according to a geographical area, however your company is structured. The organizational unit helps you to manage the objects within Active Directory. One very important thing about the organizational unit is that you can apply group policy to an OU. You want to set out or structure your organization in such a way that you might want to place policies on one particular group that are different from the other group. So you need to actually separate your objects. You can see here on the right hand side some groups that are installed when you install Active Directory domain services. You have your computers group or container. You have your domain controllers organizational unit. And you have some other units here that are installed when you install Active Directory domain services. There are some containers that you can't see unless you turn on the advanced view for Active Directory domains and services, and we'll see them in a minute. Another thing that you can do with the organizational unit is delegate administrative control of objects within the organizational unit. Maybe you want to allow the manager of the sales department to administer some of the objects within his own particular organizational unit. The organizational unit will allow you to delegate administration of those objects. Again, you can also apply group policy to the organizational units. I talked just now about viewing more objects than you saw previously. And to do that, you want to click on View and Advanced Features. And that allows you to see some more of the hidden containers. For example, you now have foreign security principals, lost and found, managed service account, system, NTDS quotas, and some of the other containers that are installed within Active Directory, and you don't see them by default. Remember, you actually have to click on View and Advanced Features. If you see a tick to the left of Advanced Features, then you know that you're going to see those other containers. The lost and found container holds orphaned objects. Program data container holds Active Directory data for Microsoft applications. The system container holds the built-in settings. Then you have the NTDS quotas, and this container holds directory service quota data. Then you have the TPM devices, and this is new within Windows 2012, and it stores the recovery information for TPM devices. we want to look at some best practices for OUs. You want to put all your servers in a particular OU. You might want to put your desktop computers in a desktop OU. You might want to organize your laptops in a laptop OU. And these are just some best practices within your organization. You can make your decision as to what you're going to do and how you're going to organize the different objects within Active Directory. But the organizational unit container is there for you to do that. You are able then to manage your objects very easily. You're able to delegate control. You're able to apply group policy, different group policies to different containers. We want to take a look next at how we actually create the OU, how we can delete an OU, how we can move an OU from one organizational unit into a next organizational unit. We are going to create an OU called Caravel Biscuit Company. Within this OU, we want to nest 4 OUs. We want to delete one of the OUs. We want to delegate administration. And we want to move one of the OUs. So we're going to start by right-clicking on Contoso. Click New and Organizational Unit. And we want to type the name of the organizational unit, which is Caravel Biscuit Company. I want to press Enter. Click on OK. Then we're going to nest the other OUs inside of the Caravel Biscuit Company. So we want to right-click on Caravel Biscuit Company. And we want to say New Organizational Unit. And the first one we want to create is the Sales Department OU. So we're going to type Sales Department and press Enter. Click on OK to create it. Then we want to create the Advertising Department. So we're going to right-click on Caravel Biscuit Company again and say New Organizational Unit. And we're going to type Advertising Department and press Enter. And try again because we spelled advertising incorrectly. If you make an error, you can always go back and correct it. ING and Enter and OK. The next department we want to create is the Personnel Department. And we're creating it inside of Caravel Biscuit Company OU, which is the main OU. So we're going to right-click, New Organizational Unit, and we're going to type Personnel Department. And Enter. OK to create that organizational unit. And the last organizational unit we're going to create is the Finance OU. So again, we're going to right-click on the main OU, New Organizational Unit, and we're going to type Finance Department and Enter. OK to complete the creation of that organizational unit. Our next task for these organizational units, we want to try to delete the finance department OU. So we're going to right click on the finance department and we're going to click delete. We have a prompt here asking us if we're sure that we want to delete the organizational unit named finance department, and we're going to say yes. Now we have an error message here saying you do not have sufficient privileges to delete the finance OU. When we create an organizational unit, by default, that organizational unit is protected from deletion. So how do we want to change that if we really want to delete that OU? Let's click on OK and see. We're going to go back to the finance department OU. We're going to click on properties. We're going to click on object. And we want to remove this tick here where it says protect object from accidental deletion. Remember that's on by default. We want to move that tick and apply and OK. Then we want to go back and try to delete the finance department OU. So right click and delete. Again, yes, we want to delete, and that department is gone. Our next task is to delegate administration of the advertising department OU. What we want to do probably is to allow the person who is the head of that department or a designated person to actually take care of the objects within that advertising department OU only. So we're going to right click on advertising department. Then we want to click on delegate control. The wizard is up and the wizard is going to help us delegate control of the Active Directory objects only within that OU. So you click next. And now what you want to do is to add the user or group that you choose to administer this particular OU. It might be a user, it might be a group. Most of the time, the best practice is to create a group and place a person in the group. We're going to click on add here. We're actually going to look for the head of that department and we're going to click advanced, find now, and we're going for Ben Smith. We're going to give him permission to administer the objects within that OU. So we click on Ben Smith, then we click OK, and OK again to close that box. Then you want to click on next to continue, and you can see Ben Smith's name there because we selected him. Click next to continue. And task to delegate. Here we want to choose the things that we want Ben Smith to be able to do within that advertising OU. We would like him to be able to create, delete, and manage the user accounts within the advertising OU. We would like him to be able to reset user passwords and force password change at next logon. We would like him to read all user information, create, delete, and manage groups, modify the membership of a group. Now, the only person that probably would have been able to do this would be you, the administrator. But you know you want to delegate. And it's all right to put somebody else in charge once that person knows what to do. And you're not giving him the right to administer your whole domain. You're just giving him the right to administer the objects within that advertising OU. Or maybe he can designate someone else within his own department to do that. So we're going to click on, we're going to choose create, delete and manage user accounts. We're going to choose reset user passwords and force password change at next logon. We're going to choose read all user information. We're going to choose create, delete, and manage groups. And we're going to choose modify the membership of a group. And last of all, manage group policy links. No, we're not going to choose manage group policy links. We don't want him to do that. So we're going to leave that one blank. We're going to click next. And here you have a summary of what you did. And we click on finish. Our next task for the OUs is to move the sales department OU and place it in the sales department North OU. So we're going to try to do that. And what we want to do is to right click on sales department. We want to click on move. And we're going to see all the containers here. So whatever container you want to move that OU into, you simply click on it. We had said that we wanted to move that sales department container into the sales department North OU. So we're going to click on sales department North and we're going to click on OK. And you can see here that the sales department North now has the sales department OU in it. Now we have just looked at some ways that we can organize the objects within our Active Directory. We looked at deleting the object. We looked at moving the object. We looked at creating the organizational unit, and we looked at delegating administration within that organizational unit. That is the end of this session. I want to thank you for listening.